my wife. She says, "Oh my God, get home, it started. I've gone into labor." Well, I get home, all hell has broken loose. My wife is in the front room with the midwife. It's in the television room, and she's on all fours, right? It's a Sony 42-inch plasma. And she's sweating. She's going, it's too big. It's too big. Get it out. She wasn't saying that during the conception. And she's in a hell of a state. She's very uncomfortable. And the midwife takes me to one side, and she says, "Mr. Brydon," because I insist on that. She says, "Mr. Brydon, I've examined your wife. She's already 8 centimeters dilated. There's no way we'll get to hospital. We're going to have the baby here." Well, this was scary. A home birth. No pain relief, you see, with a home birth. No. I would have absolutely nothing. And it's different. A home birth is different. You don't lie on your back. You give birth like a mammal. You give birth on all fours like a bear. Very naturally. And when a child is born this way, the first thing to when a child is born. Johnny Mathis throughout. Ray of hope flickers in the sky. Who'd have thought it? So, when a child is born that way, the first thing to appear is the head. So picture my wife, okay? There she is. All across the land dawns a brand new morn. This comes to pass when the child is born. Now, he didn't do that. He didn't wave his head around like that, okay? I'm just doing that so you can see. I mean, my God, if he'd done that, it would have been horrific. That didn't happen. But what does happen is the head just hangs there. And your wife is there with a little human head hanging between her legs. A tiny miniature human head. It's the most horrific thing you'll ever see. But you can't look away. She had a tiny human head there. She had a head there. She had a head here. She looked like a playing card. And I'm terrified. Oh, I'm terrified. I don't know what to do. And he looked angry as well. His face was all scrunched up. He was livid. I mean, to this day, we can't be sure what it was, but something had rubbed him up the wrong way in there. He's just hanging there between her legs, looking in the opposite direction. He looked like a rear gunner. And I'm terrified. I'm freaking out now. Now, Alison, here's the thing. You'll love this. I had said to the midwife, and this is a bit soppy, I'd said I wanted to be the first person to hold our baby. I wanted to be the first one to make flesh-on-flesh contact. I wanted to bond. I mean, it sounds silly, but I was hoping for a sort of a Lion King moment. If that had gone well, Hakuna Matata. But I'm freaking out. So the head hangs there for about 10, 12 minutes. Finally, the midwife says, "It's almost here. It's time. If your wife gives one more push, he'll arrive." So my wife went, "Yeah!" Baby went, I put the TV to mute. And I leapt across the front room. And I caught him. And I was the first person to make contact with our son. It was a little boy out, and he was there in my hands, all warm and new. And it's one of the most overwhelming things you will ever do. And I tell you now, I was in pieces. I was in floods of tears. My wife was crying. The midwife was crying. And your mind just becomes a mush. I mean, to this day, I can't explain why I did what I did next. It was so emotional. Maybe it's because I'm Welsh, I don't know. But I went... Well, thank God we hadn't cut the cord. He shot back. It was Junior Bungee. He ended up lying on the floor with all this umbilical cord snaking around the room back to his mother, yards of it. I thought, what the hell do we do now? I needn't have worried. Calm as a cucumber, the midwife walked over to my wife. She put her left foot on my wife's right foot and pressed hard. And just like a hoover, the cord went... And that's why we called him Henry.